Tablighi Jamaat, A House Divided, Part 14, Political Double Standards. So in this part, I'd like to combine a number of works, actually two works. The first was one previously mentioned, Dr. Siddiqui, a doctoral thesis submitted to the University of Cardiff, and our original and the backbone of this whole series, Professor Pieri's 2012 doctoral thesis at the University of Exeter, and it deals with the double standards in regards to politics that the TJ espouse. But before I discuss the double standards explicitly, I would like to give you a little bit of history. The history is based on a meeting that took place between the founder of the Tabligh, Muhammad Ilyas, and the founder of Jamaat al-Islami, who is known as Maulana Maududi. Now, what Ilyas said in this meeting, and I'll give you the screenshot, was that the real work of the TJ, or the real work of Islam, was being done by Maulana Maududi, and that his own movement, revivalist movement, the TJ, was just setting the groundwork, the foundation. So it seems there was some sort of relationship and connection to the JI. However, in the modern context, and the context I'll speak about very slightly would be in France, for example, in England, which is where Pieri does his research, and in Bangladesh, where Siddiqui does his research, suggests that this relationship has broken apart and is non-existent, and at the very least, you can say the TJ are very politically immature, and this political immaturity has led to the failure of their Newham Mosque project. And in fact, it led to illegality, and in one particular quote that I'd like to give, the ignorance, the plain ignorance of the group, and their disregard for women and children, and by extension, the disregard for their neighbors as well. So let's first take a look at Siddiqui's work, and the title is quite neat. It says Politics and the TJ. The Tablighi Jamaat claims to avoid politics. The followers would rather engage in dawah to transform individuals into practicing Muslims. Then he quotes Sikand, and Sikand states that the movement does have a political vision, and its views on politics have gradually changed over time. He also states that the TJ adapted various political roles in order to survive and expand. And survival may be crucial for the movement in India, where Muslims are the minority, but in Bangladesh, the Tablighi Jamaat have always received the support of the state, especially during the annual gathering. He also points out that many government officials in some Muslim countries become the followers of the TJ, and gradually they promote Islamization in their state structure. So in India today, 2020, one of the heads of the two split parties of the TJ is actually wanted uh, for charges of manslaughter because of his supersede COVID-19 event. But the Bangladeshi relationship is a lot more congenial because it actually enjoys state support. Um, Another thing to mention is the current leader, or one of the current heads of the JI, Jamaat al-Islami, Ghulam Azam. He began his journey in Islamic movements with the TJ, and then he later on joined Jamaat al-Tabligh. So he transitioned from the TJ to the JI. And these two Islamic movements in Bangladesh do not see each other as authentic Islamic movements. Sikand further mentions that the TJ provides a fertile ground for many Islamist movements to take place, although Sikand's arguments do not have much empirical evidence to substantiate his claims. And then Siddiqui quotes Metcalf, and Metcalf states, some observers and political figures claim that the movement TJ is in fact covertly political. Others that it is a first stage on the way to militancy. This argument is particularly made in Pakistan since the majority of TJ participants belong to the frontier province adjoining Afghanistan. The research of Jason Burke, the analysis of Wali Nasr, and the work of Muhammad Qasim Zaman have already preceded and explained the extent of the Deobandi involvement in militancy, and the word they use is radicalization, and the word I use is terrorism. Please see those videos. Furthermore, uh, Siddiqui mentions in his work that the TJ have this concept of heavens above and the grave below, meaning they don't care about the present world. They only care about the heavens above and the grave below. This is one of the issues that many Islamist groups and political parties criticize. For example, in Bangladesh, the JI criticizes the TJ because of its reluctance to become involved in political issues. And then he says, during my chilla is a 40-day excursion, and it's a Sufi concept and term. During my 40-day excursion in Bangladesh, our team stayed in a mosque that was dominated by JI members. So the TJ, because the JI is politically au fait and they are politically smarter, they will entertain the TJ. And he describes what happened during one of his stays there. He said that while he was there, uh, the TJ encountered a thing known as Quranic tafsir, which is exegesis of the Quran after Isha prayer every week, something that the TJ did not know before coming to the mosque. So let's stop here. This is a classic sign of a cult, and I'll give you the 7 signs of a cult. But what cults do is they oppose critical thinking. They also isolate members and penalize them for leaving, and they emphasize special doctrines outside scripture. This is exactly what's happening. Exegesis of the central scripture and document of the religion is shunned, and it's something that they don't even know about, according to Siddiqui's research here. I continue. The Tablighi Jamaat had arranged their program for their time when the JI followers were scheduled to do their tafsir. So this is a bit like being very ungrateful for your host. They are hosting you in their mosque, and you are separating yourself to do your own cultish study. When the Tabligh came to know of the tafsir of the Jamaat al-Islami, the exegesis, I saw an anxiety in the team, and the TJ group postponed their evening activities. After their tafsir, I spoke to one of the members of the JI to find out about their activities in the area, and he gave me some leaflets. TJ followers did not appreciate my doing this, and they told me to contact them in the future because uh, they were not the proper uh, Islamic group in the view of the TJ. When they left, the Emir of the TJ started to criticize the JI's activities to the Chilla members inside the mosque. So can you see the double standards here? Can you see the two-facedness of this group? And this is purely in a Bangladeshi context, but I confirm and I can affirm that this happens in every single one of the TJ groups. In Nizamuddin in India, in Tongi in Bangladesh, in Dewsbury in England, um, and Raywand in Pakistan. This is the behavior the TJs display. And they, because of their cult-like nature, would never entertain any other Islamic group in their own mosques. It never happens. But the JI, in this instance, as shown in this doctoral research, Cardiff University, clearly hosted the TJ, and the TJ end up criticizing them and not participating in their activities, which happen to be a critical study and reflection on the source text of the religion. This is cultic behavior. This is separating yourself from the majority, and this shows your political immaturity, double standards. This is a cult. Stay tuned for more information.